Hello, Watertown. It's a great day for Watertown. I mean, to be determined if it's a great day for Watertown. Only the governor knows if it's a great day for Watertown. My name is Howard Zemsky. I head economic development for the great state of New York. And you may ask, what does economic development and downtown revitalization have to do with one another? So I want to just talk about that for a minute, because it's really one of the many ways the governor has brought an entirely new and different and more effective way of doing economic development across the great state. You know, upstate lost a lot of people for too long and lost a disproportionate share of young people for too long. And the notion that economic development is somehow siloed over here, completely separated from community development and downtown revitalization, has never made any sense. And thankfully for you and thankfully for everyone across the state, we have a governor who has a real background in urban development and downtown revitalization. Someone who has brought on the one hand, very strategic and empowering way of doing economic development, empowering you as a region to develop your own plans, strategic plans, collaboratively, and then funding your vision for your future, not doing that out of Albany, but doing it right here locally. And then on the other hand, someone who has brought a very holistic approach to economic development, innovation as a component, and we see that in your plan for the JCC Technology Campus downtown, and workforce development, and the amazing job that your colleges and universities in the North Country and here in Watertown do preparing the workforce. And of course, traditional tradable sectors of the economy and the growth in private industry and private jobs that we've seen. And then finally, and importantly, and very relevant to today, a focus on downtown vitality and downtown revitalization. And I just want to identify a few of the things that are in your fabulous plan that you're probably already familiar with. But I want to applaud Watertown for adopting a complete streets policy, which is fabulous. You're showing respect for pedestrians and bikers, and you're saying it's okay to coexist with automobiles. See, when I was growing up, we didn't really care that much about getting around through transit or bikes or walkability. My kids are all keenly interested in that, and I think yours are too. So that whole complete streets policy that Watertown has adopted makes good sense for the future. It's fabulous. I know you have some initiatives around public art, and you have wonderful architecture here. This 19th century Italianate architecture that you have throughout this town is wonderful, and valuing it and repurposing it and finding adaptive reuse for it, buildings like this and others all around the city, make such great sense. And of course, the connectedness that you're working on, and we see that in your plan, to the Black River makes so much sense. So creating a place that all of you want to be and want to grow, and creating a place where businesses have an easier time keeping and recruiting people. That's how the governor has brought a very holistic approach to economic development, which has made all the difference. And with that, not saying whether or not this is going to be a good day for Watertown, I just want to say you've got a governor who I think most significantly believes in you, believes in your community, believes in this region and your town. Upstate New York and Watertown, New York has never had a better friend than Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What a great building. I understand you want to turn it into a performing arts center, which is funny because I sing and dance. You know, that's really, this governor thing is really a second act for me. I could be another Pavarotti, and I'm looking at performing in this redone Performing Arts Center. Let's give Howard Zemsky a big round of applause for the good work he does. Your senator and assembly person who do a great job. They're colleagues of mine, and we have a great working relationship in Albany. Patty Ritchie and Natty Jenny, let's give them a round of applause. Mayor Joseph Butler Jr., who's responsible every day to making sure everything works. Any complaint you ever have, you call him at his home. His cell phone number is 518-4. Let's give the mayor a round of applause. Chair of the legislature, let's give Scott Gray a round of applause. Your REDC head, who really is an innovative man who has brought so much energy to the North Country overall, Tony Collins. Let's give him a round of applause. And a man who's taught me more about the North Country and Watertown than I ever wanted to know, John Johnson. Pleasure to be with you. So let me pick up where Howard left off. The story of Watertown is in many ways the story of upstate New York, right? My father was governor for 12 years, and I used to travel a lot with him. I learned a lot from him, and I remember great meetings between my father and Mr. Johnson, great editorial board meetings. Great for me. I don't know that they considered it great for themselves, but it was great for me. And they were talking about what was happening to upstate New York. And what happened in upstate New York was basically the economy changed on us fundamentally. We were a manufacturing economy. That's what we did. And it changed. And jobs moved, and businesses moved, and they went overseas, et cetera. And you saw a decline in upstate New York for decades. For decades. Howard's point of we especially lost young people is very true, because they're starting out life, they're looking for opportunity, they decide opportunity is somewhere else. That was the main dynamic, no doubt. There were aggravating circumstances that we didn't talk about because in some ways they were too painful. One aggravating circumstance, while this economic transformation is happening, the state government was nowhere to be found. Why? Because the state government was basically governed by the legislature, and they were downstate oriented. Why? Because that's where they come from. And a legislator's inclination is to do good things for their district. Patty Ritchie goes to Albany. She's worried about her district. She cares about the Bronx and Brooklyn, but she cares about her district. Legislatures primarily downstate. So they were focused on bringing things to downstate New York. Another aggravating circumstance, while this transition is going on, the state not only was not helpful, it was actually hurtful. Why? Because it kept raising taxes. The more you raise taxes, the more people are going to move. People are mobile. Businesses are mobile. It's an economic equation. If it's going to cost me this much to live in upstate New York, but I can bring my business to North Carolina, they'll go to North Carolina. We don't have businesses anymore that are built into the ground with their foundation that can't move. Today, they pick up their laptop, they leave. So the state actually made it worse. And to the extent the state was doing economic development programs, they were very ad hoc. They were done from Albany. Albany thought they understood everything, and Albany understood what Watertown needed, and they were sort of dictated from Albany. So yes, we had this economic transformation going on. But we weren't being helpful, and in many ways, we were being hurtful. And we said we have to be honest about that and change the dynamic. And we changed the dynamic 180 degrees. Why do taxes go up? Because you spend too much money. That's the whole calculated economic equation. Why are you putting on too much weight? Because you are eating too much. That's why. Here's the great formula for to lose weight. Eat less. That's it. Billion-dollar industry. That's the formula. Yeah, except it's very hard to implement that formula. New York State government should spend less, and then they can reduce taxes. Yes, but it was very hard to do. We did it. We didn't do it 1 year. We did it every year for 7 years. State spending went up on average year to year 6%. 6% year to year was a higher rate of increase than the people in the state were making money. Your income wasn't going up 6%, but the state spending was going up 6%. When the state spending has to go up 6%, then the taxes have to go up 6% to cover that spending. And that happened for 40, 50 years. You go back to Nelson Rockefeller. Spending went up 11% every year. George Pataki, spending went up 6% every year. We came in, we said, we're going to get spending under control. We're going to get the number of calories we intake down to 1,500. Everybody said, oh, you can't do it. We did it. 7 years. The lowest increases in state spending in the history of the state of New York. Less than 2% every year, believe it or not. That changed the whole dynamic. I want Mr. Johnson to hear that, because he thought genetically Democrats like to spend more money than Republicans. He believed it was just in the genes. So it gives me a little delight to be able to say, as a Democrat, Democrats can count too. And this is math. And our spending has gone up under 2% every year. When we kept the spending down, you keep the spending down, then you can lower taxes. And we lowered taxes all across the board. Taxes today for everyone in the state of New York are lower than the day I took office. Not adjusted for inflation, for any calculation. Just the rate is down lower than ever before. Middle class tax rate up to $300,000, which is now they call middle class. I call that rich, but lowest rate since 1948. Corporate tax rate, lowest rate since 1968. Manufacturing rate, lowest rate since 1917. So we get those taxes down. So then we make Howard's job very easy when he has to go to attract business, because he can say, New York is pro-business, New York has its spending under control, and we're bringing taxes down. Property taxes, which are the highest in the nation, and the real tax problem in New York State is the property tax problem. We collect more in property taxes than we collect in state income taxes. 2% cap on property taxes. So we change our perception because we change the reality, and we said we have taxes down, we're pro-business, New York is the place to come and stay. Then we shifted the focus to upstate New York, because we said to the legislature, and I'm from downstate New York, I said, look, the job of the state government is not to address the needs of where legislators happen to live. The job is to address the need where it exists. And the need exists economically in upstate New York. And we have provided more assistance, attention, energy, and resources to upstate New York than any administration in the history of the state of New York. Over $36 billion in economic aid to upstate New York. Highest amount ever before. And then we changed the orientation on how we do economic development. We said, you know what? Albany doesn't know best. The best way to develop regional economies is to let the regions do it. Why? Because this is one state, yes, but there are 10 regions. There are 10 very different regions. What works in Watertown is totally different than what works in Buffalo and what works in New York City. So give the local governments, the regional governments, the authority to come up with their economic development plan. Those are called regional economic development councils. That's what Tony is on. And that has made all the difference in the world. And different regions came up with different strategies. We funded their strategies, and you see businesses coming back. This is not in the theory. This is not in the abstract. Unemployment is down all across the state of New York. Unemployment is down in upstate New York, just about what it's down in downstate New York. And today, New York State has more private sector jobs than ever before in the history of the state of New York, 8 million private sector jobs. And that's what it's all about. So, the whole macro level for the state changed. We then said we want to take this localized approach to the next level, which is what? Let's do a development program for downtowns. Why? Because something has changed demographically. Between the time I used to sit with Mr. Johnson and my father in those hostile editorial board meetings. At one time, people wanted to move out to more suburban rural communities and get my house and get my backyard and my space and my fence. The shift has changed. People now want to be where people are. Downtowns are very important. They want a social life. They want to be able to walk to the restaurant. They want to be able to walk to the cafe. Millennials, they're not car people. I have 3 millennial daughters. I don't know what kind of people they are, but they like density. They like that downtown vitality and that vibrance. So we started a new initiative called the Downtown Revitalization Initiative that said to the downtown areas all across the state, you tell us how to revitalize your downtown. You know your strengths, you know your assets, you tell us how to revitalize your downtown. If it's a smart plan, we will fund it. And we'll have a competition. Why a competition? Because I believe in competition. If I had just said to Mayor Butler, give me a plan and I will fund it, he would have gone back to his desk, scribbled the plan, here it is, give me the check. No, it's a competition. Now it actually brings up the quality of the product, and it has. We said $100 million for the total program, $10 million for the winners of the best downtown revitalization plans in the state, okay? And then we said to the downtowns, you get to work, bring everyone together, and come up with your downtown revitalization plan. And look at your assets. So Watertown says we have the public square, we have the Black River, we've always been trying to connect it. How do we get all that energy from Fort Drum? And how do we get that into the downtown area? We have Jefferson Community College. How do we take those students, provide off-campus housing, bring them in as a source of energy. How do we take all these disparate pieces and bring it together? We have some of the most beautiful architecture in Watertown in the entire state, and some of the most beautiful history. How do we use that as part of our downtown revitalization plan? That's the challenge to Watertown. And then the theory was, and the theory didn't actually work out that right, but it was Howard's theory. We have a $100 million program, $10 million in award, so we would pick the 10 best, and the 10 best would win $10 million. That was the plan. The program was so attractive, we got over 104 applications. Now, this was something we didn't anticipate. 104 applications for only 10 spots. This is a problem. And of the 104, people did a lot of work. They were very smart. In truth, we could have funded all 104. They were that good. So we said, this is what we'll do. First prize is $10 million. We'll have a second prize of $8 million. Third prize of $6 million. And fourth prize is you win a set of steak knives. So, now, of course, everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants $10 million. I understand that. Second place at $8 million. $8 million is a lot of money. And $8 million, you can do a lot with $8 million. Third place, $6 million, is a lot of money. And it's not really a loss to come in second or third, right? Well, we wanted to be first. Don't shake your head at $8 million or $6 million. Fourth place, set of steak knives, that's not so great. But $8 million and $6 million, that is something that you should be proud of. And given there were 104 applications, that is something to be really proud of, because it means you were in the top tier, right? So we are here to announce today that of the 104 applications, Watertown has won first place $10 million. So, congratulations to you, because you deserve it. You earned it. Nobody did anything for you. You did it for yourself. You happen to be starting with some really great assets in Watertown that have been undeveloped for a long time. But you won because you did the work. One condition on the grant: when this building is converted to the Performing Arts Center, I'm the first person on the stage. Let's bring up Mayor Butler, and let's give him a big round of applause for leading the effort.
Well, Governor, we don't have to wait till this project is complete. If you really want to sing a song, I'll open that up to you right now. My daughter Maggie informed me, I have to admit, I pulled my children from school today, bad parent, and she informed me, Dad, I need to get back to school. Don't talk too long. So I won't. But let me be the first, Governor Cuomo, to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a great day for Watertown. It's a great day for the North Country. Across New York, the governor's Downtown Revitalization Initiative has been instrumental in helping communities rebuild and revitalize their downtown neighborhoods. Today's win started almost 2 years ago, and when my colleagues on the council, along with city staff, found out that the governor was launching round 2, we knew it was our opportunity and mission to build on the progress we've made and unlock the full potential of our community here in Watertown. With New York State as our teammate, we can build on our vision for the city's 21st century revival. I'm deeply humbled and honored to accept this award today on behalf of the city of Watertown. Downtown Watertown has made tremendous progress, drawing both public and private investment. And today, the momentum is there. This DRI award will help us get where we want to be. It will help us get to that enviable position throughout the entire North Country. Again, I want to thank Governor Cuomo for his support, both past and present, for the investment our great state is making, and for recognizing the potential that lives right here in Watertown. This funding will strengthen our economy, attract new business, create jobs, and lift Watertown to new heights. I'd also like to thank the North Country Regional Economic Development Council, co-chaired by Tony Collins, who made the trip from Clarkson today. We appreciate that very much, Tony, and Gary Douglas, your co-chair. I also want to thank Strategic Development, the folks that helped us write that grant application. Job well done to Leanne West and her firm. My colleagues on City Council, Mark Walczyk, Cody Horbaz, Steve Jennings, and Teresa Macaluso, thank you for your support. Our friends throughout the Fort Drum community, led by General Pyatt, and our fellow elected officials at the county legislature, headed by Chairman Scott Gray. Thank you very much. They all had a part in today's success. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what teamwork can achieve. So a big round of applause to all my friends out there. And last but not least, let us thank our downtown businesses, our cornerstone, many of whom are here today. Thank you for your commitment, thank you for your perseverance, and thank you for choosing to make downtown Watertown your home. It is your win. Congratulations. Today we celebrate, tomorrow we roll up our sleeves and begin the hard work that lies ahead. But I cannot wait to see all that we can achieve as a community going forward when we work together. Thank you for being here today. God bless you all. God bless the citizens of Watertown, and God bless America!